Hey guys, what's up? This is Devin coming to you with a new video. Um, this is kind of just something I've been thinking about for a bit, and I was like, oh, well, with the new format and all, what would be some good side deck cards? Now, some of these are like my personal attacks, and they might not be cards that you're familiar with, in which case I'll read the card effect off to you. So, um, let's start off with like some obvious stuff like Effect Veiler. People love this card. They run 3, if, like if needed. So I'll like kind of abuse the crap out of it. It's fun. It's a fun card. I only have the one, but it's a good card. When people main deck it, but you could also side it. You could like main 1, side 2 or something. Second one, Max C. Max C. It's another good side deck card. Also a card that can be mained. It's like it's a card that people use to get hand advantage. 6 Sams definitely benefit off of this because they get dead draw so much, and so it's a good thing to use main and side. Breakthrough Skill is another trap card. It works kind of like Veiler. It lasts for the turn, but you can banish it from your graveyard and activate it again. So that's pretty cool. Plus, it can be a trap that can be activated during the battle phase too, if needed. So it's like, yay, you can stop your stuff whenever. So, yeah, it's good. It's, it's like a double Veiler right there. Divine Wrath. You can discard a card from your hand, negate the activation and the effect of an effect monster, and destroy that monster. So basically where it says, like, a powered up version of Veiler, even though it came up before it. So it's like, oh, you're going to activate an effect? I'll just negate it and destroy it by discarding 1 card from my hand. So sure, you kind of go -2 in a sense, but you also kind of plus off of it because then you don't have to deal with the effect of the monster that was probably going to cause you. It's going to be a pain in your ass or whatever. So, yeah, it's... And then, Fossil Dino Pachycephalo. With Fossil Dino, this is just like, oh, you put me up, well, there's like 5 special summon monsters on your field, I'll just destroy every single one of them. Now the downside is you can't XYZ or synchro with him because that requires special summoning. You can't do that. But it's like, oh, okay, at least if you like stop that for a turn, stuff like that. If I feel full of these monsters, you can just like Fossil Dyna and get rid of everything they have. Imperial Iron Wall. Cards can't be banished. It works good for a couple decks. It kind of stops zombies for a bit because they need to banish Mizuki and stuff to get their cards in the grave, so it kind of benefits your play for their play, but benefits, disadvantages, stuff like that. It's still a good card though, and also against chaos decks that require banishing stuff. It would kind of slow down not as much, but it kind of hits Balance Boxers with Counterpunch because then they can't use Counterpunch with they can't use Counterpunch to boost up their monster's attack points, so it's kind of just not, like, they can't do anything with that. Kind of makes Bottomless not a thing. The thing would go to the graveyard so you can reuse it again, the monster, not Bottomless. And so, yeah, it becomes kind of interesting. Next trap card, Royal Prison. Monsters can't be special summoned from the graveyard. This one kills Dark Worlds. Just like, oh, Royal Prison out of MSTs, GG. Because, at that point, it's like, oh, what are you going to do? You can't special summon from the graveyard, so you can't get off any of your plays. Sure, they could still activate Grapha Effect and pop it, but if you have, like, Soul Drain or whatever, they can't do that either. So, I mean, Royal Prison is like GG. Another good trap card, Royal Decree, kind of stops all of the trap cards in the field. An old school play I like to do with this is like Royal Decree and Horse Flame Dragon level 8, so that they can't do anything, no spells or traps, and it kind of makes it difficult to get around the monster with 3,000 meter. But Royal Decree is like, oh, no trap cards at all. So that's like a third of your deck gone right there. Sucks for you, doesn't it? Like, what are you gonna do now? I mean, and this is a kind of back row heavy format, so it's like stopping them from activating back row kind of helps you set up plays. And it's like, oh, okay, so they can't activate any bottomless or torrential or mirror force or deep prisons. So that means I'm set to pull off my plays as much as I want and not have to worry about any um, back row at all. Unless it's like Lance or something, or MST. A good trap card that I don't see anyone using, Discord. It prevents people from synchro summoning for 3 turns, and it specifically states neither player can synchro summon. Send this card to the graveyard during your 3rd end phase after activation. This is a side deck card mainly because you want to wait to see if they synchro, if they have synchros in their extra deck, or if it's like mainly XYZs. And against a deck that relies like solely on synchro monsters, like I don't know, the synchro version of Invernities, or like Lawfuls, even though they're kind of dead now, or whatever, this would kill them because then it's like it shuts down the majority of their plays. Like Poisonar-based decks get killed because of Discord, because they have to wait 3 turns, and those 3 turns they can usually get killed. So it's like, okay, that sucks. So that's like a portion of it. The next 2 cards are Deep Dark Trap Hole and Giant Trap Hole. Deep Dark Trap Hole, when a level 5 or higher effect monster is special summoned, banish that monster. So basically it works as like a extra bottomless against stuff like JD, BLS, Chaos Sorcerer, anything really that's like level 5 or higher that has an effect. So it's like kills like most decks. So, well, it wouldn't really hurt that many decks, but at the same time it is good against Light Sworns because it's like, oh, summon JD, Deep Dark Trap Hole, and banish it, so it's not coming back. And then there's like all the other decks that like run level 5, like I said earlier, Lawfuls, Infinities, because it also hits like extra cards, so that'd be like anything that relies on the extra deck that has synchros, so that would be like, oh, or fusions really, so heroes can get hit by that. So that's pretty good, kind of a wide variety. A Giant Trap Hole, activate only when 2 or more monsters are special summoned at the same time, destroy all monsters on the field. So it's like, this is a card you'd rather use when you either have a Lance in play and in the like on board, or if you have no monsters on your field that you need. So it would be like against 6 hands specifically, it would be like double-edged sword technique. So they activate that, summon 2 monsters, Giant Trap Hole, destroy everything on the field, and they're gonna be kind of stuck there because then, you know, unless they have another one, their play is kind of slowed down a lot. Also works against like defusion because it summons 2 monsters, 2 or more monsters at one time. I guess any card that rekindling would work against rekindling because that's like, oh, special summon like at most 5 monsters. Oh, Giant Trap Hole, destroy everything, bye bye. So it's kind of cool. Like whatever they try to do just kind of gets stopped in their tracks. So yeah, those are 2 good traps. Then there's Mind Drain, Soul Drain, and Skill Drain. Skill Drain, I'm sure you all know what this does. Pay 1,000, negate all monster effects on the field. Soul Drain, pay 1,000, negate all monster effects in the graveyard. Mind Drain, pay 1,000, negate all monster effects in the hand. So Mind Drain kills hand traps like Valor and Max C, and I don't know what are other hand traps that people run now. Valor, Max C. Those are the only 2 I can think of, but I know there's probably more. Soul Drain stops stuff like, I don't know, it stops Light Sworns because it like stop their new tuner monster police from activating. It stops Wolf. It stops Dark Worlds from activating their effects, like Grapha specifically and Brow and all that. And Skill Drain stops everything on the field. So getting all 3 of these out with a combo, and then like preventing it from being destroyed by MST or Twister or whatever, it would be really good. Oh, and Soul Drain's gonna be be good against artifacts because that main artifact card activates in the graveyard. Another trap card, Trap Stun, kind of works as a one-turn Royal Decree, so it's not like clogging up your back row as long. The Trap Stun's like, okay, I want to see how many plays I can get off without the back row being a pain in the ass or whatever. And then these are more like, I guess there's Twister. People start running that now. It's like really good. I'm sure you pay 500, but it's like an extra MST now. And it's not as OP as the original. And then there's Book of Moon, kind of to slow down their plays. You know, it's like, oh, you're gonna go XD summon Book of Moon. It's kind of funny. And then these are kind of just like tech cards that I would use. The first off is like Econ, Enemy Controller, for people that don't know what that is. Activate one of these effects, target a monster on your opponent's field, switch its position. And then there's the other effect, which is tribute one monster on your field and take control of the monster that's on their field. So it'd be like, oh, kind of like a brain control, except you have to tribute a monster instead of paying 800 points. And then there's, you can activate it whenever, so it's like, oh, you're gonna go for like, so it's like, oh, you're gonna use Big Eye effect, I'm just gonna tribute the targeted monster and then take your Big Eye for the turn. Another one for me is Waboku. I know that specifically Fire Fists and a couple other decks use this, like main. Waboku is a good side deck card too, because it like prevents you from taking any battle damage at all. So it's like, okay, I have like 200 points left and one more attack from any of the monsters and I'm done. I'll just set this and it's like, okay, Waboku, you can't really kill me this turn. I have one extra turn. Kind of buys you some time. Then there's Creature Swap. Creature Swap's like, some people are probably familiar with the Bahamut Shark number 30 Acid Golem Destruction Creature Swap play, where you use Bahamut Shark to summon Acid Golem, which when it has no overlay units can attack, it cannot attack, and you take 2,000 damage every standby phase. And Creature Swap it with the monster on their field so that they get stuck with it. And I'm sure they contribute it, but it's just like, it's kind of stuck there. Creature Swap is, Creature Swap's like a troll card, really. I mean, I use it in my Frog Monarchs that I'm building, that I'll show a deck profile for eventually, maybe, if I ever get the card. And it's like, oh, Treeborn Frog. Okay, so I'll just activate Creature Swap, trade my Treeborn Frog for one of your monsters, tribute that monster, and summon my Caius and or Ryza, and banish a card on your field. Attack my Treeborn so it's in my graveyard for next turn. So yeah, it's kind of a troll card, really. Another kind of tech card, favorite one, is Shrink. It's an old school card, so I think most people that used to play the game back when it was like back in like 2002, 2003 should know this card. It's like it says select one face-up monster on the field. The original attack the monster is halved until the end of the turn. So kind of like, okay, so your monster's attack points are cut in half this turn, so that allows me to do more damage by attacking your monster. So yay, let's see what I can do. And it's kind of like, oh, you're attacking my monster and it has more points. I'll just activate Shrink and cut your monster's points down to size so you take damage and your monster's destroyed. And then there's Safe Zone. Safe Zone is it's an interesting card. There's a combo with Master Key Beetle with it. It's just like, oh my god, no, don't do that, because then it's like Safe Zone can't be destroyed, Key Beetle can't be destroyed. They're both just there, and it's like, what the hell am I gonna do with this? I can't get over it. I had to beat you down to kill you. And they can pretty much rest on that as long as they don't attack directly. And so it's a good card. I mean, if they activate an MST, like a blind MST, then you can just like activate this on a monster on their field that can be targeted, and it's just like, okay, well, screw you. I'm just gonna target your monster and have it get destroyed. So with that said, it's like, it's a good card. So that you could main it, but as like a side deck card, you could see, okay, could I really actually use this against my opponent if needed? So yeah. Then another one is anti-magic prism. I don't think anyone knows what this does. Activate only when your opponent activates a quick play spell card. Select one card on the field and destroy it. So that's good when they activate stuff like Econ, MST, Twister, or whatever other quick play spell cards are out there. I think those are the biggest three. So like, yeah, it's like, oh, you activate MST, okay, I'll just chain this and destroy a monster on the field or whatever. And so it's good. I mean, it's definitely something you'd want to side. You don't want to draw this and be like, oh. And the thing is, they don't even have to activate it. You could activate your MST or your Twister or your Econ and then activate this and destroy something on their field along with, whatever else would be destroyed. So it's pretty cool. And then the final card that I have for this one is Overcapacity. Now, Overcapacity is a good trap card against two decks that I can think of in particular. It reads, when your opponent special summons a monster, banish all face-up level 2 or lower monsters on the field. So yeah, for most of you players out there, the first two things that pop into your head are Tanukis, which is raccoons, and Ojamas, because those are the two decks that run solely on level 2 or lower monsters. Not solely, but mostly. I'd use this card specifically against raccoons. I hate raccoons. I honestly do. Like they bug the crap out of me so much. I hate them with a burning passion. I mean, I hate it. I hate it so much. I lost to the deck like 9 times in the frickin' row, and I barely beat it the 10th time. So I'm just like, no. Oh god, the memories. I'll probably give you guys like a top 10 list of all the decks that I freaking hate for this format or in general. I mean, Overcapacity is like, oh, you special summon something with Baby Raccoon, Tataka, or Tanuka, or whatever it is. Okay, I'll just banish everything you have and slow down your play. It's definitely good to run like double, like in 2s or 3s, because then you can like do it over and over and stop their play a lot. So it's pretty fun. So yeah, those are all the side deck cards, and one that I didn't really think of until like a few minutes ago was Mask of Restrict, and it's not like a card you can use against a trillion different decks. It's one that you could use mainly against Monarchs, obviously. With the new Mega Monarch support coming out, activating Mask of Restrict would prevent them from being able to summon that monster as easily. Whereas with like Caius and Ryza, this is summon my Treeborn Frog, Mask of Restrict, no summoning for you. That would kind of suck. So that's another good side deck card against a specific deck, sure, but it's still a good side deck card. So yeah, that's all. Sorry I haven't uploaded a video in forever. It's just been kind of busy with school and drama and shit, and it's kind of been overwhelming me. So I'm definitely gonna try and get back into doing this more frequently. Hopefully within the next week or so, I should come up with another video, like a top 10 decks that I hate, because I already have one on that list, and you know what it is. You guys know what it is now. I hate raccoons. I hate them so much. Anyway, yeah. So thanks for the what am I thanking you guys? No, that I shouldn't, but thank that. Damn it, trip over my words so much. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, like the video, comment, subscribe, tell your friends. Even if they don't play Yu-Gi-Oh, just tell them about my channel. They might tell someone else, I don't know. Just, whatever, get the word around, because I'd like to, and, yeah, damn it.